the research behind the Wi-Fi related WLAN. So my topic is the performance enhancement of public, and I have said unsecure also, public Wi-Fi to protect from cyber attacks. As we all know that in today's scenario, we are having so many experiences of the cyber attacks, especially in this pandemic situation. We have seen lots of the maps shown on the WhatsApp and on your email, lots of the email from the WHO also, and lots of the fake websites of the PM Care Fund, etc. And also from your bank also some transactions has been done without your permissions. So all the things are going there, and attackers are always active, and he or she was more active in this pandemic situation. uh, so this is all about the attackers we know previously, but whenever we invite some attackers unknowingly, then what will be the situation? So that is the condition of the free Wi-Fi available. So we all know that the free Wi-Fi is available in airport, in some hotels, railway station also. So we are habitual for that also, because we are having the limited 2 GB or 1 GB plan for our internet in the mobile. So I have divided my talk in two parts. One is the fundamental of Wi-Fi attacks and security aspects. In this, we will discuss about the fundamental things regarding the Wi-Fi, and how what are the possible attacks are there, and how we can protect ourselves. And in the second part, I will discuss about the wireless LAN technology and how this Wi-Fi work through the access point. As we all know that the access point is having the physical layer and medium access control layer inbuilt in that. So out of the all 7 layers, this communication is only related with the physical layer as well as medium access control layer. And the medium access control is the one of the sub layer of data link layer. As we know that the data link layer is having the 2 layers, logical link control and the medium access control layer. So as we all know that Wi-Fi is known terms, even this time it is known by the children of the family also. The children of the class 2, 3, 4 also know about the Wi-Fi, how to use the Wi-Fi in the mobile also. They are very much aware. And if some attackers are there for the revealing some information from the mobile, when the mobile in the hand of the children, so it is very common. But if the attacker is capable to take the information when mobile is with some adult person, then it is the matter of some seriousness. So as we all know that the free Wi-Fi is available everywhere, and the Wi-Fi is nothing, it is the wireless fidelity, and it is based on the 802.11 family, which is the wireless local area network family. In local area network, we can talk about the wireless local area network and the wired local area network. The wired local area network is a very old term, and currently everybody knows about the WLAN, which is the wireless local area network. So we also know that in the 802.11 standard, there are a lot of versions, and all the versions are having some differentiations in terms of the physical layer parameters. So at the physical layer, we know that basically we deal with the modulation, and modulation are there having two types, the analog modulation and the digital modulation. So both the modulation techniques applied according to the requirements. So if there are frequency hopping speed spectrum or direct speed spectrum we are using at the physical layer, then there is a possibility of the gaining speed of 1 to 2 Mbps with the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. So this is the basic, very fundamental type of the WLAN, and this WLAN implemented on the Wi-Fi device. So our Wi-Fi device work basically on the CSMA-CA protocol with the help of the 802.11. So 802.11 is having so many versions, okay, starting from ABCD to onwards. And in all the versions, there is a difference in the physical layer. And according to the changing the modulation technique at the physical layer, we are able to get better data rate. And for better data rate, up to the 20 Mbps or above, we have to change the modulation techniques at the physical layer. So it was something about the 802.11. So basically, what is the public Wi-Fi? It is the hotspot and basically free internet facility, which is available at the airport, coffee shops, mall, restaurant, etc. So unknownly, if there is a free Wi-Fi, unfortunately, we have done the setting in our mobile to use the free Wi-Fi. Whenever you are in the zone of free Wi-Fi, your data automatically off and Wi-Fi started. And unfortunately, some pending downloads started automatically whenever you are in the free Wi-Fi zone, because it is a default setting sometimes. So what are the risks in the these free Wi-Fi zone that we are going to discuss over here? According to the Cisco report, the expected free Wi-Fi hotspot is increased up to the 430 million by the 2020, and it was the 7 times of the figure in the 2015, which was the 64 million. So we know that is in the school also, in the college also, there's a demand to offer the free Wi-Fi. So definitely to protecting our mobile, our data, our images, videos, etc. from the free Wi-Fi, the attackers available in the free Wi-Fi zone, we have to create the virtual private network with the security. So that is the responsibility of the owner of the Wi-Fi service provider. So the owner may be at the airport authority or somewhere else. And if it is a government authority, then we can see that they are having some concern. But whenever you are dealing with the private authorities, we are not criticizing to any private authorities, because we all are the part of somewhere in the private institutions, universities, etc. also. But it has been found that in some restaurants, some renowned hotels, it has been done that some data has been stolen by the attackers by providing the free Wi-Fi. So before going to use any Wi-Fi, we must be aware about some technical things. We know that the Aam Aadmi or the common people are not able to understand the security and other technology available. But being the computer science IT engineers, we are aware for that. And as this cyber security becomes the part of the general knowledge and social awareness, or we can say it is also the part of the some extra subject that people are doing study this time. And lots of government organization are running the schemes to make aware the people for the cyber security attack and the protections. So if there is a insufficient encryption used, then definitely there's a possibility of the attacker. So we have to be aware for the good encryption schemes every time. So it is also to the service provider and the mobile manufacturing company. Then what we can do, we can go for the password protection. So we have to go for a stronger password always. In general, we take the way we to the attacker also. So the lack of awareness must be there definitely, and lots of organization working on that. So we have to be aware for that also. Some advertisement are there on the television, on the YouTube also, the awareness programs is there. So lack of awareness is there, which also invite the attacker to reveal the information from your mobile. So there are some important attacks, some very common attacks about which we can make sure the awareness and the alerts. And it has been found that 1 in 5 people and 3 in 10 senior businessmen managers have been hit by the cybercrime while on the go. If some managers or some high reputed people, those who deal with the decision making or deal with the financial transactions also, so they are more sufferer of these cyber attacks. And the common people are rarely, but nobody is common this time. Why we are not common? Because we are sending some information through the mobile, and that information may be the dangerous for society also, and maybe against our country also. So every person is under the observation, and we are not we cannot treat as a normal people that everything can be overlooked, that it's okay. So we have to be aware for everything. So how the attacker can do the work? The well-known man-in-middle attack is always there. Whatever we are communicating with each other, the attacker can understand through the channel, and also attacker can hack the device also sometimes. So between two people, if there is a attacker, then it is the man-in-middle attack. Packet sniffing is also there. Attacker can capture your data packets by setting some administrative password, and also take the credentials, and your packets can be sniffed by the attackers, and these can be analyzed. The packet means there may be the images, video, audio, and everything, whatever is available in your mobile. Evil twin attack, it is in that the attacker try to make one fake access point, which is the rogue Wi-Fi hotspot also, and it is the free for all, so everybody will be use this free Wi-Fi, and your information will be revealed by the attackers in that way. Then one good Wi-Fi pineapple is also one type of attack in which a poor person or a normal person can also purchase a Wi-Fi device, and it can be installed on any square or any hotel, near the hotel, and in that way people roaming from here to there, or they are standing over there, will we use the free Wi-Fi, and your information can be revealed by the attackers. So uh, there are so many advices and some guidelines given by the companies also before providing the services to you, and according to that they have suggested that use the only HTTPS encrypted sites. It is always advisable that the HTTPS is the only secure site, so go for that. But whenever we are going for the free Wi-Fi, we are not aware for this. We are just concentrated on the free services. Also, we have to enable two-factor authentication on our mobile devices, because sometimes whenever you are in a hotel, the hotel is giving you the free Wi-Fi, and free Wi-Fi is generally very common password is there. Suppose you are staying there at the room number 402. So there may be the password also the 402, because they are not very much aware, and they are not having any concern also. They are just giving you the free services. So the free things always treated like that in our country. So you have set that free Wi-Fi password into your mobile, and you have gone to roaming for here and there, and at the night again you are there in your room, in the same room. This is the 402. So whenever automatically you have saved that password, so without your permission or without your knowledge, it is possible that your mobile has been connected to the Wi-Fi, because it was the auto connected mode, and you are sleeping there, and whole the data of your has been copied by the attackers through this free Wi-Fi services. So go for the two-factor authentication, in which at least one SMS will be there on your mobile for connecting to the free Wi-Fi. So in that way, some data, and sometimes you can protect yourself, but that will be only at the beginning, means at the time of the login procedure. And for the other time, other types of attacker are active, so that can take your information in other ways. Disable auto join to Wi-Fi network. As I have explained, that we are having in the auto join mode always whenever you purchase a mobile, or you are going for some settings, so it is automatically enabled. So we have to check our setting again and again, and we have to avoid the auto joining Wi-Fi network facility. There is another device which is the perimeter 81 developed by the Israel, which is very common to use nowadays, and the people are using this Wi-Fi device, and this is having good security mechanism, and it is also work on the low load conditions. So this can be supported and used by the so many companies, and it is having the automated Wi-Fi security. So what is the automatic Wi-Fi security, right? So whenever a hotel is providing you or some other platform is providing you the free Wi-Fi, so they are not aware about the Wi-Fi device or the dongle, we can say, they have purchased. Okay, so basically unknowingly they are sufferer with the all these problems. Okay, so ultimately what should be done whenever we are purchasing a Wi-Fi device, that must be secure enough, right? So that there will be not any possibility of the attack. So we have done some research work and we have modified some protocols which are there in Wi-Fi device, that is the CSMA-CA protocol. We have done some modification on that, and accordingly we have designed one Wi-Fi device which can be used for the security in the any type of. So how that will be work and that have been done, I will explain in this presentation. Perimeter 81, there's a DNS filtering facility, and by using that, there's a lot of security they have provided. So orientation description on Wi-Fi aspect, we have to set up some goals regarding the same, and as per the goals, we have done some work. So for improving the performance of the Wi-Fi device, we have to work on the either on the physical layer or on the MAC layer. So this medium access control layer is the, as I have told you, the part, we know that the part of the data link layer. So it is the sublayer of the data link layer. So we have to improve the performance of the medium access control layer because at the physical layer, a lot of works has been going on. What we can do on the physical layer, basically nothing have to do. We have to change the modulation techniques only. We have to make our transmitter and receiver more stronger and more intelligent by using some AI techniques and the other deep learning, machine learning techniques. So that work is also going on. But at the software level or at the working level of the protocol, if we want to do some modifications, then we have to go for the medium access control sublayer. So there are a lot of terminologies and things related with the medium access sublayer, which we have to discuss over here. So ultimately, in a Wi-Fi device, we have to commit it for the two things. One is that the fair share must be given to all the users. Means if in a family there are 10 people using the Wi-Fi, then almost everybody should get the equal share. If it is not there, then somebody is doing some malicious activities or there are some attackers is available. So we have to identify the attacker. Then we will inspect the attacker's activity, whether attacker is taking the information from your device or it is just using your existing scenario. So here in the MAC protocol, some terminologies are there, like the binary exponential bake-off algorithm is there. In this algorithm, through this algorithm, we increase the contention window size. Contention window is the one of the terminology through which we assign the how the medium can be shared by the peoples. So I will discuss later this thing also. So ultimately, there must be the fair channel allocation to legitimate nodes, and some attacker is there. If attackers are there, so attacker must be eliminated. So here I'm going to explain you designing of one medium access control protocol for Wi-Fi devices, and which is having some capability to improve the battery life also if it is required, and some security also, and providing the equal share to all the users also. So in this research, we will discuss about the how we can identify the attackers from the Wi-Fi scenario at the MAC layer, how we can handle with the attack, how we can improve the adaptability of the protocol so that that protocol will be in itself capable to deal with different types of the attackers and other situations. Then also we have improved the attack resiliency of the MAC layer protocol so that it can bear some types of attack and perform better in the odd and worst situations. So fundamentally, we all know that there are so many types of the channel allocation schemes. And in the channel allocation schemes, there are basically static and dynamic channel allocation schemes. In the static, we all know that there are TDMA, FDMA, CDMA types of schemes, which we are using since long years. And in dynamic channel allocation, there are three types of the bifurcations: the contention algorithms, contention free algorithm, and limited contention algorithm. So in the limited contention algorithm, two types of there. In the contention free, there are types. In contention algorithm, the primarily there was the Aloha with the two versions, the pure Aloha and slotted Aloha. Then CSMA was the enhanced protocol, in which there was the capability of sensing the carrier in the channel. So in CSMA, there were three versions. One was the 1 probability, other was with the P probability, and the third one was with the none probability. So it was suitable for some wired application also. And then CSMA CD was in the picture, which was useful for the wired scenario. Means it was able to detect the attack if some attack is there. Okay, so carrier sense multiple access with carrier detection is suitable for the wired scenario, means wired LAN basically is this. But nowadays we are using the wireless scenario, so we are there for the CSMA. So carrier sense multiple access with carrier collision avoidance. So here ultimately we have to avoid the collision. And practically also it is true that because in the air we cannot predict about the collisions, or we cannot detect the collisions. So better to avoid the collision is the right scenario. So as we all know that in the wireless scenario, we work with some access point, and there are some terminals which may be the mobile, laptop, and other computers also. So the access point is based on the 802.11, and it is having the working on the physical layer as well as the medium access control layer. So what basically access point do? It can deliver your data to from one user to other user. It can distribute your data. It can associate other users. It can reassociate other users if they are not in the network because of the limited area of the network. Then this association, authentication, deauthentication, and delivery of the data. These are the operations which the access point do while providing the services in the free Wi-Fi and other scenario. Also, there are fundamental problems in long time, and it has been resolved also. So the problems are the hidden terminal problem, exposed terminal problem, far terminal problems, near terminal problems. As you all know about these things, so I am not discussing much about these problems. But the hidden terminal problem deals when some terminal is hidden and not able, the access point is not able to see properly. So, or some nodes are not able to visualize that somebody is also transmitting in the channel. As we all know that in the CSMA scenario, only one person can be transmitted at the one time. If more than one people are transmitting through the channel, there will be accident. Okay, that accident is called the collision. So if terminals are hidden there, then possibility of the accidents or collision will be there. If terminal are exposed, then also the access point will think that that exposed terminal is there for transmission, but sometimes it is not transmitting and the other terminal is transmitting. So these types of problems are there. Some nodes are near to the access point, so they get access in some early time, and more data rate they can get also. And the attackers or terminals, those who are far with the distance, they will get the less speed and after some more time. So this is the fundamental problems, those you have already did and you have done some work on also that. But all these things related with the our problems, so I am discussing over here fundamentally only. So as we all know that the 802.11 scenario is basically a distributed coordinated function scenario, which is used in the CSMA protocol. So here, as we know that collision detection is not possible, so we try to avoid the collision in this scenario. So here every node listen to the channel, and if the channel is free, then only people transmit into the channel. So fundamentally, we can see that this is the basic diagram of the CSMA working. Here, the sender wait for the time DIFS, which is the distributed interframe spacing time. And after that time, if the channel found free, then only it send the packet for the handshaking. As we know that there are four-way handshaking in the CSMA scenario. So in the four-way handshaking, we are having request to send and clear to send signals. So this is the RTS, which is the request to send. And then if from the receiver, the sender is getting the CTS, the clear to send message, after the short interframe spacing time, then only the sender try to send the data. So after receiving the data, the receiver send the acknowledgement. So this is the four-way handshaking because four messages are there. Means RTS, CTS, data, and acknowledgement are the four messages. But if the data size is very small, then we can send direct the data. Then it will be the two-way handshaking. So only data will be sent and acknowledgement will be received. So this is the fundamental working. We all know about that. And here one NAV is also network allocation vector, which is based on the RTS and both CTS. Because in RTS packet format, the sender wants the permission from the receiver to send the data for a particular duration. And if the receiver is agree on the duration, then NAV RTS will be the NAV CTS. But if receiver is not agree, so receiver will send another duration of the time in the their CTS signal. So that will be noted into the NAV CTS. So ultimately, the rest of the channels will be store the information about the sender and receiver, so that they will be in the avoiding situation to transmit their packet. Because if more than one people are transmitting, then definitely the attack will be there, right? So in that way, the working is going on since long time. And in that scenario, there is no security provisions or any type of the security is there, right? So fundamentally, we can also see and know about the distributed coordinated function, that it is a distributed concept and scenario which work around the access point. Whenever people are connecting with the access point, they are governed with the distributed coordinated function, and some RTS and CTS transmission done there with the peoples, then only the data transmission is possible. And also here we use the concept of contention window, through which we decide how the people can select the time when they can transmit the message. So if at the bank also, you can see there are some tickets available. You will take your ticket and you will sit over on the chair, and whenever your number will be there announced through the announcer, then only you will go for the services. So similarly, the contention window concept is also here used, and in that concept, the attacker try to take the information with the help of some numbers. So in that number, if I am getting my chance at fifth number, so I will send my data after the 5 seconds. And if someone is having the on the slip, so he will send after the 1 second. So in that way, the collision is avoided here using this concept. And this contention window also vary according to the their attack collision and the retransmission scenario. And all this calculated with the binary exponential Beckhoff algorithm. So there are some delays in terms of short interframe spacing and the distributed coordinate function DIFS spacing, so that the acknowledgement will be received by the sender for the previous packets. Okay, so we do some waiting. We are having some waiting period also. So in wireless local area network work on the access point, we are having carrier sensing, either it is in the virtual format or it may be through the this distributed coordinated function. So ultimately, some hidden nodes, which is the attacker, are there, and through the attacker we have to deal with every time, and how the attacker are doing their activity to take unnecessary advantage of the channel or to stopping the services to other people's. That is our concern here. So we use here RTS CTS in the four-way handshaking to avoid the collision possibility of the data. As we know that the data is having the bigger lots of bigger size than the these RTS CTS packet. So as I have told you that the exponential Beckhoff algorithm is always work there, and in that algorithm, there is a contention window, means there are the numbers from 0 to w-1, whereas w is the contention window size, which is in the range of 2 raised to power n. So we can have the contention window from 0 to 7, 0 to 15, 0 to 15, means the window size may be the 8, 16, 30 to 64 or like that. So in that way, whenever some attacks are there, the contention window size increases. So the attacker will get the large number for further sending the data. In that way, the attacks can be avoided and the legitimate people can get good share. So here contention window concept is used to eliminate the problem of the more collision in the network. So ultimately we have to understand how our access point can behave greedily, or it can behave maliciously, or it can reveal your information. That is our concern here. So the attacker or the access point can be work as a selfish or greedy nodes. So there's a difference in the malicious and selfishness. Okay. So every person or every node is having the behavior of suspiciousness, and the suspiciousness can be turned into the selfishness, as well as it may be the maliciousness or the attacking mode. So if you are selfish, you are concerning about yourself. You want to take more advantage of the facilities. You want to take more advantage of the shared bandwidth. You want to take the more data rate. So this is the selfishness or greediness. But if you are attacker or malicious, then you will try to give some problem to the network. Okay, you will destroy the network. You will degrade the performance of the network for others as well as yourself, just like the human bomb. So there is a different types of the possibility of the selfish behavior in this medium access control protocol CSMA scenario, which work on the Wi-Fi devices to provide the services. So here the attacker can manipulate the DIFS period, which is the distributed interframe spacing period, that is must in the protocol for the waiting. So it can also manipulate the SIFS duration time. The greedy behavior of the attacker also force to do some backup manipulations, means attacker don't follow the contention window number, whatever the number is he has got, he will not follow. He will go to the he will send the information randomly to the network. In the similar manner that at the railway station you are in the queue, but some people try to go to the front to take the ticket. So in that way, similarly, here there is no follow-up for the backup contention window. Some alpha misbehavior is also there, in which the attacker try to manipulate the contention window size by multiplying one factor alpha into the standard contention window size, which is having some higher range. So alpha is definitely between 0 to 1. So between 0 to 1, whenever you will multiply a number between 0 to 1, there will be number in the points. So whenever you multiply 8 to 0.5, so it will be below the value to the 8. And similarly, whenever you multiply 0.7 to 8 or 16 or something else, so it will be decreases. So attacker maliciously, selfishnessly, what do? It will decrease the size of the contention window by multiplying some parameter or factor alpha. Also, some beta misbehaving is also there, in which the attacker try to expand the contention window by multiplying the factor between 0 to 2. But this expansion will be done for the others also, so that the people will be get the late their services. Then also attacker try to take the fixed maximum contention window size also sometimes, because actually we are having a maximum contention window size, means whenever you are in the line, there is a fixed size of the line that 50 or 100 people can be stand over into the line at the same time, because it is the only capacity to provide the service at the same day. So if there is a maximum contention window size 1024, then attacker can try to decrease their own window contention window their number, and according to that less number, attacker will take the early chance to send the data. So in that way, also the deterministic backoff misbehavior is also there, in which attacker try to use some random number to change the contention window size to send the data. So in that way, there are lots of wireless 802.11 variation available, in which different types of the make layer changes has been done also. So this was the greedy behavior of the attacker. Then what is about the make layer misbehavior, in which attacker try to do some greedy behavior as well as some attacking behavior. So as we know that in the greedy behavior, the attacker try to do some modification at their end. So what attacker can do, attacker can adjust the contention window minimum size. If suppose the minimum size is 2 for a particular scenario, so attacker can make it 1 or 0 also. Attacker can also manipulate the contention window size for others also, and also the number which has been got by the other people. Attacker can also do some rejections to the RTS. If I am the between two nodes and some packet is forwarding through me, so I can work as a black hole attacker and I can drop that packet. So RTS packet can be dropped by the attacker. Attacker can also adjust everything like the NAV, contention window size, DIFS, etc. as I have discussed you. So by the attacker for getting some common getting some further advantage by doing the cheating and other manipulations in the fundamental parameter of the working of the CSMA protocol. These all I have discussed you one by one. So attacker can be here in the colliding nature, means more than one people may be act as a attacker there. So we have to deal with the single attacker as well as multiple attackers, as well as with the roach access pointer, if the attacker is there at the access point. So in the greedy behavior, attacker try to increase the performance of himself, but in the malicious behavior, attacker try to do some damage to the others also. So in the malicious category, the jamming, DOS attack, jamming attack is there, denial of service attack is there, and some non-cooperating attacks are also there, which is related with the forwarding of the control packet as well as the data packet, means RTS, CTS, acknowledgement packets or the data packets. So what malicious activities can be done by the attacker? So attacker can use the accounts and privilege illegally to use them for the stealing the information. Attacker can stealing the hardware piece of information, software piece of information, and also the executing code at the access point. So for taking your data, it can do some modifications. So attacker can use the data for the financial gain also. For your private social networking information also can be changed by using your password information. So ultimately the bandwidth which is misusing by the attacker and the other information which is taken by the attacker is our concern here. So if we want to talk about the specific attack on the access point related scenario, means with the wireless local area network at 802.11. So we are having the following attacks. First is the spoofing based attack, as I have discussed here, that here the attacker will create one access point, and attacker will take some MAC address of others, and on that MAC address, attacker try to be part of the network. So in that way, this attack can be possible. So MAC spoofing we have to avoid because it is the main cause of the other identity based attacks. Then rogue access point is very common attack nowadays. People invest some money and take one device, and they provide the freely access to the peoples and some squares and other hotel and other types of the places. In the airport also they can do, at the railway also they can do. You will assume or presume that railway authority, but there may be some private network provided freely to revealing the information from your devices. So there's an attack on distributed coordinated function also, in which the distributed coordinated functions information is manipulated by the attacker, as I have explained you previously. Then resource depletion attack is also there. Attacker try to provide the flooding attack or provide some other packets whenever you are there for the services. If suppose this time when we are I'm delivering the lecture, if some deliberately other node will be connect to my mobile from which I am taking the Wi-Fi facility, then I will not be able to communicate with you. So that is the resource depletion attack. So all these fundamental attacks deal with the Wi-Fi scenario. That. So one protocol we have designed, that is the attack resilient and adaptive medium access control protocol for WLAN or for the access point, which is the ARM-ACK. So this protocol work in the scenario extra facility we have provided is the opportunist mode of the communication. So as we all know that initially there are two mode of operation. One is the legitimate mode and other is the malicious mode. Means any node can be either a normal mode or the malicious node. The third facility we have provided here is the opportunist mode of operation. In this mode, we will provide some facilities to the node, those who have suffered of the collisions or some attacks has been performed on those nodes. So how it will work, that I am going to explain. So whenever there is a channel is underloaded, the access point will basically observe the channel continuously after some observation period. And if channel is underloaded, then access point is having the rights to provide the that free bandwidth or the channel access to the node, those who are in the opportunist mode. Means the who are the sufferer, those will be provided the extra bandwidth or extra data rate. So if a node is trying to use the misuse the opportunist mode facility, then we are also having the provision to find out these types of the node. So attacker may be the node may be the legitimate or attacker or the opportunist type of the working. So all these I will explain further in detail also. So here in our work there are three types of mode of operation by the node. So we have to offer first, we have to identify first which node is having the to which node we can provide the opportunist mode facility. Okay, so as we all know that there is a concept of senior citizen. It is also, we can say that the concept of the senior in the senior citizen concept, we know that we give the special line to the peoples, those who are having under the category of the senior citizens. So in the railway, in the airport, everywhere we are giving them extra facilities. Similarly here, the access point will observe the every node, and if it has been found by the access point that the node have been sufferer for the collision, then several times without their mistakes, will be and higher speed will be provided to those types of the nodes. Actually, whenever you are on the road and one four-wheeler or truck is there having the accident with you, so sometimes you are not responsible for that accident, you are just sufferer only. So for you there is some penalty reward scheme, there is some scheme by the government also to give some relief to you financially and medically also. Similarly here, if some nodes are suffered by the accidents, some attacks, then they will be provided the facility in the opportunist mode, and these nodes will be called the opportunist node and will be stored in the opportunist node list. So here is a simple algorithm we have designed for this purpose. So here attacker will access point will calculate the channel load situation, and if channel load is less than the capacity, then the mode will be a particular node will be offer the opportunist mode for a duration of time. Means this facility will be for a small duration. It will not be for, right? Because whatever the chance has been destroyed by attacker during the collision, so for those duration only, for those attempts only, we are providing here the facility to the those nodes for the opportunist mode. So in that mode, ultimately the contention window size, which may be from 0 to 1024 or from 0 to 512 or something else, that will be reduces to the minimum value for these types of the node. So these node will be get the extra early advantage for this facility. So ultimately, what the access point will do, it will get the node from the opportunist node list and change the mode of the node to work for the opportunist mode. In that way, this facility provided to the node which are the sufferers. Now, how we can identify the attacks on the network? For that we have developed some algorithm. So there will be some observation period for the by the attackers as our principal, director, or some authority check whether we are taking the classes or not. After every period, there is a different teacher and there is a different class. So it is observed by the principal or the director. Similarly, here in the network, the access point will observe every scenario for the time duration t, and that will be the observation period. So in the observation period, it will be counted that if any node is having the more access to the channel, then it may be the suspicious node. Okay, so suppose that everybody is getting the 100 Mbps speed, and some nodes are there, those who are getting more than 100 Mbps speed in the network, means 10% or 20% more speed. So that may be the comes into the category of the suspicious node, because we are bounded here to give the equal share to all the peoples. So in that way, we will increase the counter of that node by the 1. So suspicious counter will be maintained for every node in the network. And if some node are having the malicious activities, means their speed of the data transmissions or their chances are more than the 10%, then that will be there in the suspicious list. And the sufferers are there in the opportunist list also. So these two types of the list we are maintaining over here. So if after some time is node is showing the normal behavior, so we will then reduce this suspicious counter list by the 1. So in that way, by continuous observing, it is possible to judge the different nodes, and it can be treated properly by the access point if access point is intelligent and having some modifications in terms of the opportunist mode and the other suspicious mode provisions for providing the better facility to the legitimate users. So here also we have developed another algorithm. In this algorithm, we have just said that if the PI is the average packet transmission by each node, it is having more than 10%. So we will go to increase our suspicious counter by the value 1. And if it is the normal, then normal process will be there for every node. So in that way, we can find out a suspicious node, and then for the suspicious node, we will go for the further inspections, and that node will be added into the suspicious node list. So also we have explained with the help of the flow chart here. Other scheme we are having that is the node penalty and reward by the access point on the basis of fairness index. One terminology here we have used, that which is the fairness index terminology. As we all know that the fairness index is a terminology in which we talk about the equal share to all, and this fairness index the value between, and if the fairness index value is higher, then it is okay, but if it is less than 0.9, then it is the matter of possibility of the attackers there. So if we will observe the packets transmitted by the each node during a particular observation period, let's say 1 second, and if some node is having the fairness index between 0 to 0.9, then we will declare these nodes as a suspicious node, and their suspicious counter will be increased by 1. And if some nodes are found in the normal scenario, then we will can provide some node penalty and reward mechanism to the nodes with the use of the this mechanism. So here we have decided some threshold observation period, and we have decided here the observation period is the 34. We can randomly take anything. In some paper I found that this observation period is taking as a between 30 to 50, so I have taken that. So it may be any value, depend on the scenario to scenario. If we are at the scenario at the airport or other scenario, then or some military scenario, then the observation period may be reduced to 1 or 2 or between the 5. Okay, because we cannot tolerate the medical peoples, we cannot tolerate the military peoples, dishonest military people or dishonest medical people or dishonest people at the airport, because these are the place where some small mistakes is very dangerous. So some other algorithms are also there we have designed to identify different types of the attacks. So sometimes what it has been done at that it has been observed that some nodes try to send the information to non-existing node. So if some sender and receiver SA and DA are there, and if sender is sending the receiver to the destination and destination is not existing, so this type of node will do the damage to the bandwidth only. Okay, they will acquire the channel for some time duration, and then other will not be available to send the data. So for that purpose, we will increase the suspicious counter value for this type of node. And if this suspicious counter value will be increases by a number 3, means if 3 times continuous a mistake has been done by the node, then we will discard that node from the network. So means access point will take some decision to discard these types of node from the network. So in another scenario, if attackers are there in the pair, then it is also dangerous for us. Sometimes what the attacker do smartly, the more than one people are the dishonest there in the network. So if more than one people is dishonest, then you cannot easily understand the situations. Means if 5 people are there saying lying to you, so you will think that this is the truth. Okay, so when people are saying lie more than threshold time, then that may be treated sometimes as a truth because of the lack of the awareness. So here we will find out these types of the attackers in pair. What they will do, they will not send any information. They will just send the RTS CTS packets. Means you are saying the telephone hi and hello every time. So for the 1 hour conversation, if every time you are sending the message hi hello hi hello hi hello, it means you are not sending the useful data, right? So if there are only control packets transmission between the two nodes, the control packet may be RTS CTS, the request to send and the clear to send, then we can also identify these are the attackers in pair, because they are not sending the useful data. And if they are sending the useful data, then we have to observe that the useful data is there sending by the attacker is following the basic fundamental rule of the our CSMA protocol or the 802.11, which is there in the access point. So if all about type of the attackers are there and they are having the suspicious counter value more than 1, then we will try to eliminate these types of attacker from the scenario if their suspicious counter value increase more than 1. So in that way we have developed some algorithms, and by employing these types of algorithm on the access point, we can develop a good device which is we can develop a good Wi-Fi device which can be used for the secure Wi-Fi university campus or some airport or some other types of the scenario. So in that scenario, these algorithms will be there in the Wi-Fi devices and will be run and accordingly provide the security to the users. We can also use here some deep learning, machine learning algorithms also, and through those algorithms, we can also provide some other security. But it will take more time to do some calculations, to do some predictions there, right? But we can work on the machine learning and deep learning concept also for doing this work. So here are some parameters on which we have calculated, and we have find the better value of this scenario. So one is the throughput. In throughput, we can see that we are having the fourth scenario. One is the basic CSMA protocol scenario, in which we are working with our ARA MAC protocol, and our ARA MAC protocol work here in the scenario where it is having the facility of the adaptability. Means the opportunist mode of operation we are using here only. So in the opportunist mode of operation, we are providing some facility to the senior citizens or the nodes, those who are suffer with some collisions happened unknowingly. So in that, we can see that in ARMAC, we are getting better advantage as comparison to existing CSMA CA. So here the red and the green lines you can see. So in the green, we are seeing that our throughput is better than the opportunist mode of operation. Here we have to note that we are not deploy here the security mechanism now, right? But in the CSMA CF with attacker, we have applied the security mechanism, and in the security mechanism also ARA MAC is performing better. So here the yellow line we are having for ARA MAC with the attackers, and the blue line is there with CSMA CA with the attacker. So we can see huge difference in the throughput also whenever we are applying our algorithms on any access point for commercial purpose. So that will be give better throughput to all the users as well as equal share to the different types of the users. Further, the packet delivery ratio is also increases here, as we know that packet delivery ratio is also the similar concept which is related with the throughput. Here, whatever the packet transmitted is must be received at the receiver. So it should be more than 90%, or ideally it should be 100%. So here also you can see whenever we are giving some chances to the node, those are the victim of the collision. So their performance also increases, and their data also sent within the particular duration. So in that way, packet delivery ratio will be increases here. And if whenever we are avoiding some attackers by applying the mechanism or attack detection and isolation, then also the performance in terms of the packet will be increases for the ARA MAC, because more packet will be transmitted in this scenario. Also here the mean number of retry limit will be decreases, because we are getting more chances to get the success, as to we have avoided the attacker possibilities, and also we have provided the opportunist mode of operation. So more number of packets will be transmitted in a small duration of time. So previously, when there was a failure or multiple failure due to these attackers, now that failure will be decreases. So for a particular packet, there will be very less number of transmissions by individual nodes. So within the minimum number of retry for a particular packet, we will get the, in that way we will get the better output. So per node, mean number of retry will be decreases here. So which you can see here in the scenario. So more number of retry is there with the CSMA CS scenario with the attacker, which is here with the blue line, right? And in the yellow line, you can see the minimum retry is possible. But below that, we are getting in the green line, because in the green line, we are using the scenario without the attacker. So green line is compared with the blue line, with the red line here. So you can see that scenario here, that we are getting the advantage. We are also getting the advantages in terms of the medium access delay here. In the medium access delay scenario, definitely there will be less delay by the nodes to transmit the data, because they will get the advantage of the opportunist mode, as well as reduction of the attacks, as we will identify the attacker, and attacker will be disassociated from the network by the access point itself. So we can see in these two scenario that we are getting the advantage in the terms of the medium access delay also. So least medium access delay we are getting in our scenario, which is ARA-MAC with the green line. The green line means it is without the attacker. Okay, and where there is a attacker in the scenario, so definitely the performance will be degraded, and performance of our protocol will also degraded, but it is still better than the fundamental CSMA CA protocol. So here we are getting the advantage in the medium access delay terms also. Further, the fairnet index value you can see here in the green line and the yellow line, that we are getting the better fairness index as comparison to the other scenario of the attackers. Also, we are getting here advantage of the collision data frame ratio versus the number of nodes. So here are the least collisions in our scenario as comparison to the scenario with the attacker, because whenever we will eliminate the attackers, we will identify the attackers, we will identify the malicious node and eliminate it, then definitely collision will be reduces. And if cheater nodes which were able to get the advantage of greediness were there, that then they will also eliminate it. So the improved performance will be there with the less collision per node. Also here RTS and data packet ratio will be also reduces, because in previous scenario there was so many attacks there in the scenario, or there was the node sufferer victim with the collisions, so they have to send more request to send packet for sending their data packets. So here whenever we are giving them advantage of opportunist mode, as well as we are eliminating the attackers, so the RTS packet in the whole network by every node will be decreases. It will be only more by the attackers, and it will help us to identify the attacker also. Also, okay. So finally, we have designed our scenario for the any Wi-Fi enabled network, which may be the network of the airport, network of the railways, network of the any university. So in that scenario, we can apply this type of, we can use this type of access point design commercially to protect from the attackers. And whenever there is a least attacker in the scenario, so there will be improvement in the performance also. So in the campus scenario, we can see here that there will be an administrative block, there will be academic block, there will be other block, because in our university, we are having the UIT, means the University Institute of Technology Institute separately. So there is a separate block for the study and the teaching purpose. There is a separate administrative block, there is a separate examination block also. So whatever the process can be there, what we can do here, we can deploy different access point at different administrative blocks for the communication through the packets, and all these informations can be routed in the campus through the different Wi-Fi devices deployed. And for the outer network, we are having here exterior router. So the router, the information will be gone to the outside the campus. or it can be also extended for the cloud services that we have deployed there in the campus, one private cloud or one private server through which we can maintain everything. In that way, we can deploy our some algorithms on the server also, but at the server we have to use then WiMAX device, because the Wi-Fi is having the limited capabilities. So to increasing the limited capability of the Wi-Fi devices or more number of Wi-Fi devices use elimination, we can go for the WiMAX scenario also. So here one more problem we can see here, that if some access points are the attacker, then they can do damage to a large number of nodes. So we have to more concentrate in this scenario on the rogue access point scenario, where that way this scenario or this protocol can be used for this type of the networks. So in conclusion, we can say that in our developed protocol, we are getting better advantage in terms of the different parameters. And for this, for protection of our data, our information from the maliciously acting Wi-Fi devices deployed at different hotels and other scenario, we can go for checking whether the device is secure or not. And if the devices are having some secure algorithm running on that, and then it is better for everyone that their data is secure. So then it can be recommended for to protection our data from the different types of the scenario. And by using this ARMAC algorithm, the performance of the protocol will be increases, and that can be uses and everywhere. Here also so many things we have done, which is I am not able to. So here we also use the Fibonacci series concept. As we know that the observation period should not be periodic, right? I have discussed about the observation period during my conversation. So observation period should not be periodic, it should be random, right? If principal and director is coming to see your performance or whether you are taking the class or not, so he should come randomly, okay? Means if he's coming at 10 a.m., then further he should come 4 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. or something random period of or before the lunch or after the lunch. So that random period of observation we calculated by the Fibonacci series. As we know that the Fibonacci series is having the value of its previous sum, right? So there will be different numbers, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There will be 1, then there will be 2, then 3, then the sum of the previous numbers. So in that way, we have increases some randomness in this whole scenario, right? Without using any type of machine learning algorithms. So this is all about my talk, and some other points which I have not discussed. Right, I would like to discuss here, which I have escaped. Well, just a minute. Yes, I would like to just discuss about the NAV. This NAV very important parameter here, which is the network allocation vector. So this network allocation vector basically maintained at every node, and every node keep the information which is updated or not. So the information between two nodes can be saved in the network allocation vector. So also there are some formats for different types of the attack, different types of the packets. Means RTS packet format is there, means format means frame format is there. So RTS frame format, CTS frame format, and other data frame format is there. So we have done some modification in the frame format also. Accordingly, the different node will be understand that this packet is coming from the genuine node or not. So for identifying where the nodes themselves also, we can the node can be see the packet format, right? So in the packet format, variation will be observed by the every node also, and accordingly node may also be capable to see their the different information about the attackers and other nodes. So this is all about which I was interested to discuss with you people is in the Wi-Fi scenario. We are only what we can do, only we can only be aware for everything, and the more responsibilities to the authorities, not to the customers, right? We are common people, and we are just there to take the advantage of the facilities provided by either the government authorities or by the private authorities. But authorities must be aware for their devices. Problems associated with the data stealing and other types of attack on our mobile and laptop should be avoided. So this is the moral of whole lecture from my side, that we have to force to the authorities for providing the security rather than the customers. So it is all about by my talk, and if there is any query, I am here. Thank you very much. Sir, I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
I am
Yes,
audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you are audible. So participants, if you have any
Okay,
query.
sir, this is all about from my side.
Yes, sir. So participants, if anyone has any query related to the talk, he or she may unmute himself, herself, or can drop the message in the chat box. Unmute कर दो sir. So participants, you have given the permission to unmute yourself. So if anyone want to share any.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Hello. Yes. Very good morning to you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir. You are audible. Please.
Okay. So thank you very much for allowing me. So this is Shamim. I'm a business graduate basically, but right now I am enrolled in CSC to actually, get me cope up with the industrial, 4.0, because the revolution has already come. The fourth revolution has already come, and with a business graduate is actually we are facing a big problem in the real life industry. I'm a chartered accountant by profession as well. Sir, my humble request to you is that today's talk was really excellent, and I'm really very, glad that Honorable Coordinator Sir has actually allowed me, through his kindness, to be in your class, to be your student. Thank you very much, sir. But if I want to actually explore further, sir, what I should do?
So what is your question, sir? I'm not.
Particularly, on this topic, okay. If I want to actually
Okay, you want to
learn
do
more
further
about
some work?
yes, if I want to actually learn more about cyber attacks, in Wi-Fi, okay. So if I want to
Okay.
learn more about that, sir, which book or which material, you would like to suggest us?
Sir, actually, there are so many videos on YouTube available, and different research papers are also available on these topics. and better to go for that, because in them some security books there is information about these things, but I don't think there is a specific book for this purpose. There may be some books by the Cisco and other types of the security service providers companies, so we can also go for that. And also you can go for subscription of their sites, so they will send some information related with that. Also you can go to ResearchGate for some communities.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Some communities are there, sir. In that communities you can communicate and you can join some groups, those who are working on the security related with this topic.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Sir, hello.
Yes, sir.
With kind permission from the honorable organizers, sir, actually, I mean, in the industry, actually, we are using quite a lot of, I mean, IoT sort of things and artificial intelligence and cloud computing blended with this thing. So this topic, particularly the cyber attacks in Wi-Fi, is very much actually applied and necessary for us. So that's why, if you please be kind to me, then with kind permission from the honorable organizers, sir, I want to be in your touch for further learning. And it would be very kind of you if you please share these PowerPoint templates as well with us, if you please don't mind, sir. Thank you very much, sir, once again for such an excellent lecture.
I think it will be provided by organizer. The complete recording will be there, I think. Pankaj sir will told about this more.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
The recordings will be shared over the YouTube channel. So on yesterday too, in the WhatsApp group, I have shared the link. It's an official GNDC. So while tracking the official GNDC at the YouTube, so all the recorded lectures, anyone would be able to surf. So thank you, Piyush sir, for the wonderful lecture. I am grateful to you for sparing the wonderful thoughts about performance enhancement of unsecure Wi-Fi to protect from cyber attack. So it was very informative sessions, and I do suppose that all the doubts or the queries related to the participants have been resolved completely. And we will be in touch in future for such kind of the academic assignments as well, sir. And thank you so much. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you very much, sir.
wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much.
So participants, the next talk is being scheduled at 11:45, and the title was on progressive visual secret using affine Boolean functions. But unfortunately, this speaker is not being available on today. So I will look for the alternate. Otherwise, we will share the AICT based outcome based education. AICT has just revised some educational policy with reference to how the significance of outcome based education is making the impact upon effective learning teaching strategies. So what the suggested behavior is there for, as per the AICT prescription, so that we will share in the next lecture. If the expert, Dr. Engineer Vivek would not be able to join. Okay, thank you. See you at 11:45 a.m.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.